here.
Yeah.
Now, let me see your war face. But all right.
Off topic once again.
Big podcast money.
Let's talk about this podcast.
Let's talk about that. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let's talk about that. I'm your co-host Tony,
and I'm Martin. And as usual, it's hard to come up with a new exciting topic. So we figured we'd go back in the archives of our episodes and find episode 2, actually. Episode 2 was about food. And we're now on episode 32 or something like that. And yeah, I do not do any research. I don't know what episode this is. but we both love food, and we love to cook, and we love to eat. Yeah. So... why not rediscover whatever we talked about? I mean, we haven't listened to it recently, so we might repeat ourselves quite a few times, but who cares? Who cares?
I mean, I know our listeners usually count on our sort of flawless professional presentation, but you'll have to bear with us for this one.
Yeah, I mean, we do not do any research. Because everything we say is the fact and true, or something like that. Yeah. On to food, Tony.
Yes.
Have you cooked anything beautifully delicate lately? Something that was a taste-gasm, as we can call it.
Well, I don't know that it was anything that spectacular. But part of the reason I thought about revisiting this one is that while I was alone last night, I decided I wanted to do a little experiment.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I do. That's what I do. Like if I'm home alone for a bit, I do like
experiments.
I do experiments because I don't have to worry. Like if it's not good, it's not like I've failed to feed the family. It's just
you know why I can cut this out, you know. So this experiment thing where I'm alone.
Yep.
Yeah. We're talking about food. Tony experiments with food when he's alone, so he don't have to poison his family.
Yeah. Just that sounds so wrong when you say that. Like, Tony experiments with food while he's alone. Yeah, lots of whipped cream and no, I'd had a kind of soup I'd wanted to try like making for a long time. Like well, it was actually kind of a combination of a couple things. I wanted to make like a nice vegetable soup with like leeks, and stuff like that. And I'd also really wanted to try and make a mushroom soup because
mushrooms are delicious. So much flavor. Yeah.
Yes. So I went to the store last night and got stuff for, experimented with a mushroom and leek soup. Fully vegetarian, fully vegan, I suppose. It turned out pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
It was interesting for a try, you know. I threw in some cabbage with it to give it some more body. I like cabbage.
Yeah.
It's great in soups because it really absorbs the flavor and everything.
It does.
And then, a bit of some vegetable stock. I found this it's like a roasted onion bouillon. You know, like normally you have like chicken bouillon.
Yeah. We have fish, vegetable, beef, and pork. I think is most common.
Yeah,
common ones. Yeah.
Yeah, this was an interesting, like, it was like a vegan bouillon that was it was like basically like caramelized onions and stuff like that. It was like, but it was in like kind of a paste type format. So
yeah. Those are quite nice. Yeah.
So I mixed some of that in, a little bit of red wine.
You're a fancy one using wine in while cooking. I've never used any liquor at all.
Oh, you should. Wine. Wine is amazing.
Because all the wine we have, it's stored in a cabinet and never opened.
Well, see, it's not good wine. I mean, like, so at the, I don't know what the liquor laws are like, because like where you are here in Minnesota, there's very limited alcohol that they can sell at the grocery store.
Yeah, here too. I think it's about 5%, so it's mostly just beer. Beer is 4.7 here.
Yeah,
and wine it's only at the the liquor store, which is one brand, one store here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they have the only thing they sell like that at the grocery store is they sell cooking wine, which I'm always surprised they don't need to see an ID for, but that's another thing, I guess.
I don't. It's probably very little alcohol in that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some. I'd have to look at what the proof is on it, but yeah, even just crappy cooking wine is great in cooking. Like, highly suggest you get into using it. It really adds like a depth of flavor.
Yeah, I love the red wine sauce to steak. That's very delicious, but I don't know if my wife agrees on that.
Well, if you do any sort of anything that's sort of creamy in nature, or like any sort of pastas, a little bit of like white wine in the sauce for that, super good. Well, depends on if you're doing a tomato sauce or not. Red wine is great in tomato sauce.
Yeah, sure.
Or not.
Yeah, I mean, in an original bolognese, you're supposed to have red wine. At least I've seen professional chefs use that.
But yeah, no. Yeah. You need to try wine in cooking. It's so good, and it smells amazing.
Yeah, like, it does. It does.
Like it's always incredible to me how much it adds. Like because the red wine I think was like one of the last things I added to the soup. Like I'd been kind of testing it and like it's pretty good. I added in that wine, let it simmer for a few minutes, tasted it again, and it's like, oh my god, there's so much flavor in this soup now.
Yeah.
So,
what wine is deep in the flavor? It's wine is complicated.
Can be, yeah.
I mean the taste, because it's usually so many layers. I've heard so many layers, and you have how it's stored and what kind of grapes they used and all that stuff. So many kind of layers of flavor. So when you let it simmer, I guess you kind of stretch the flavors out, if you can say that, and make everything richer in taste.
Yeah, I mean, you might get more of that with like good wine. I don't know about the
I haven't tasted any good red wine yet, so I don't know what you mean.
you don't like wine, huh?
I've tasted some white wine that's quite okay, but red wine haven't. I guess probably not old enough yet. But I love cognac or brandy. Yeah. So, and that's something 50-year-olds or 6-year-old drink. So,
hey. If it's brown, man, I'm there for it. I like it. No, I went through a time when I was like first out of college, first had like a nice job, where I would try a different wine every week, trying to figure out like a different red, because I've always been more partial to the reds, to try and figure out sort of what varieties I preferred. And I mean, I love a good like Merlot, or Red Zin is kind of my go-to, which is kind of like on the spectrum of like dry to sweet. It's like right in the middle.
Yeah, but because I've tried like the super dry white wine, and that's not for me. I mean, I like it kind of sweet, so but I haven't found any red wine that's good. But white wine is some of them are quite good. Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm occasionally I'll be okay with white wine, but it has kind of it's like a waxy flavor that I just don't care for. One of the exceptions to that, though, is I've always liked. It's a German one, and I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, called Gewürztraminer. Gewürztraminer. You familiar with that one at all?
Nope, I do not know any wines at all. German. White wine. And I see a picture of a piano and a dog. Google, where are you? Oh, nope. I'm not going to look through all of these images. Nope. You probably butchered the name, but if people know, they know.
Yeah. Well, see now, yeah. Gewürztraminer. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Here, I'll put the Wikipedia link in the chat for you, so you can get the full experience. There we go. This is the kind of riveting audio content that you guys all tune in for, anyway. So.
Gewürzenminer. Yeah. Yeah, it's aromatic wine grape used in white wines and performs best in cooler climates. Yeah.
But yeah, that stuff is
Gewürz.
good.
Gewürz. It's referred to in English. It says, when you have the U with the 2 dots, it's E.
Yes, it is one of the hardest things. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah. All those, I mean, there's so many people butcher German words because of that, because the U and U with the 2 dots are quite different pronounced. So, yeah.
Well, and it's just like in English, of course, we don't have any sort of, accents or anything like that for our vowels. And so it's all context based,
Mm-hmm.
How you're going to pronounce it. And so I just automatically go off of context and I forget to, I just ignore the accents most of the time.
That's just how it is. But back to your soup. You added red wine and it was delicious.
Yes.
So basically you had this, I guess you had water, and water and mushrooms, leeks, and that bouillon.
Cabbage.
Cabbage, yeah, and cabbage, yeah. And red wine. That's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper. Oh, yeah. And I threw in some thyme too, because thyme and mushrooms are wonderful together.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I mean, soup is. It's quite easy to make a soup.
It really is.
If you have water and you have some spices, you would need some onions, kind of leeks, onions, kind of. Maybe you try to have them in the pan first to get that flavor out, and some salt and pepper, and then have this into the water with the bouillon. Let it simmer. Maybe have some cream in that. You don't have to do a lot of magical stuff.
Yeah,
that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, part of why I got inspired to do this sort of thing is I watched. There was a YouTube video I watched at one point that was talking about, how to start making soups, and it literally was just start making them. They're super easy.
Yeah, you can, as you did, just experiment. You need water and probably some bouillon because of the flavor, because you're not that good in making your own stock and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's super easy to make a soup.
Yeah. And you really can't go wrong. You can always add more to it.
I mean, you could make it too sweet. You can make it too salty. You can make it too hot. I mean, too spicy. But you could always make, if it's too salty, add a little bit sugar. If it's too spicy, add a little droplet of milk or something like that. And you will be able to balance it quite nice.
Yeah. So this is. My dad is known sort of in his social circle as being a soup master, because he makes a lot of different soups. He's very good at it. Something I've started to experiment now with. Yeah. It's just hard to. Now I've got a bunch of leftovers now. I might actually give some to my dad, because my dad's a vegetarian, and this is one of the few vegetarian meals I've made. Yeah, so that's cool. What about you? Have you cooked anything new and interesting lately?
We actually cook something new every week.
Really?
We are kind of what we look on different apps or recipe books and stuff like that, and we find something. Hey, this look nice, and this look nice. But something I made recently that become kind of a favorite here is fried rice with salmon. Yeah, it's just boiling rice, and you have cut the salmon into cubes, and you fry that quickly in the pan, put it aside, and you have the rice in the pan, and just in the wok pan, and just toss it around a little bit, and then you add some. We had carrots and some parsley root, stuff like that. You know, the root mix. It's called root mix. In there, and toss it around. Add some eggs, and then you add the salmon, and then you have this little sauce on the side made of actually Heinz ketchup, oyster sauce, and a little bit of that hot sauce that starts with an S.
Sriracha.
Yeah, that one. Just a tiny bit of that, and it's the favorite here now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's super easy and super quick to make. Yeah, the longest thing is boiling the rice.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
I don't know if it would fly in my house. I mean, I'm sure they'd like it. It's just both my wife and Vincent, I think, both like they like their salmon unadulterated, so to speak. You know, they want the salmon flavor to really speak for itself. Now, if you had maybe like a not as good salmon that you needed something to do with, absolutely.
Yeah, they like the salmon like on the side with just a salmon, and you can
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I did something. I had some leftover fried rice from some restaurant once that we made that with the salmon and then some stir-fried baby bok choy. Bok choy is wonderful, by the way. I don't know if you have it, if you've cooked with it.
I mean, how do you
B-O-K
K
CHOY. Yeah, I mean, it's rather.
Yeah,
it's rather
yeah.
unassuming.
I've seen that one. I haven't seen it in the shop, but it's. I guess it's in the bok choy, Norwegian. It's a cabbage kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's kind of leafy.
Yeah, I see it here. I've seen it. It's very much used in Asia.
Yeah, I like bok choy. It has a really good flavor. Really absorbs sauce well and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, but, I've seen them in use, but I have never tasted them. No.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's been my thing probably over the last 5 to 10 years, is just really trying to try all the vegetables and try to get to like them. Yeah. Because I was never much of a veggie fan growing up, or even my early adulthood.
I guess you guys probably have much more variety of vegetables than we have, at least here. I mean, if you go closer to Oslo or in some of the special shops, Asian shops around, I would probably find some exotic vegetables and fruits. But in the regular shops, grocery stores, we don't have that much fancy schmancy stuff. Sure. Unfortunately, I would love to try something, but I'm a little bit skeptical to those tiny Asian shops because it looks unhygienic, everything. So kind of skeptical, but I guess it's just all right, just me being silly or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I wonder about that. I think, of course, we're a suburb of a pretty big city, so we get a fair amount of variety, which is nice. And it's very nice how many sort of global foods I can try, how many different vegetables we can try without having to go anywhere special. But yeah, in a small town like Kragerø, it's
I love your pronunciation, Tony. It's
Thank you. Well,
on
I just
point.
I just listened to you say it so many times. It's like the one sort of Norwegian thing I can pronounce perfectly.
Let's see. I mean, this one, I hate that Google Translate does it. But it was this one root vegetable that I don't think you've tried it, that we use quite often. I have to, because Google Translate wants it to be turnip, but it's not turnip. It's not turnip at all.
What is it? What's it look like? Oops.
It's yellow, brownish, maybe even yellow, maybe even purple. Grows under.
Kind of looks like a carrot a little bit.
No, it doesn't. It's called the apple of the earth. Kohlrabi.
Oh, kohlrabi.
It's actually translated to kohlrabi. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have not actually had kohlrabi before. Yeah, I'm trying to, or at least I haven't had it that I'm aware of. Yeah, it looks like yeah, yeah, it's kind of a bulb with all these weird stems shooting out of it.
It could be. I mean, you only eat the bulb.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see if we can do
Here.
like
this. I just sent an image. This is what you're talking about, essentially.
No.
I
sent you this. Oh wow, that was a link. Yeah, I've never seen that one before.
Okay.
But this it grows.
Rutabaga.
Yeah, I mean there are probably hundreds of different varieties, but this one is quite. It's kind of a kale-ish flavor, but it's richer. It's yellowish, and if you can make like a mashed version of it. You can boil it. You can have it in like in a deep dish in the oven. It's delicious.
Yeah, I actually have had rutabaga before. Not a lot. There's a food item here. I don't know if it's regional or not. Called a pasty, which is sort of like it's like usually beef and sort of root vegetables in kind of like folded in dough, and then you bake it. And those sort of traditionally have rutabaga as one of the ingredients. I think it's usually like rutabaga, potato, onion, and like steak, essentially.
Yeah, it's yeah. We use that. We did use that quite a lot. It's more of an autumn vegetable. It comes in. That's when it's done. It's much used. Like we use it lots in mashed potatoes. We add some of it, and it makes more the richer, rounder flavor to it. And we also have it just mashed to some of the traditional Christmas foods. Yeah.
Yeah, I should try cooking with that sometime. Because I'd like to do some more root vegetables.
Yeah, I mean you could take like every root vegetable and cut it into similar pieces, have it in a deep dish and in the oven. Oh man, it's delicious. And then you can have some pork chops and stuff like that inside with it, and just make a sauce on the side, and you're done.
Yeah. Well, and I'd love to try doing like a one of the other sort of soups I want to try is like kind of a root vegetable style soup.
Yeah.
You know, a nice sort of just light broth with like turnips and radishes and rutabagas, sure. You know.
Yeah.
And leeks or onions, because like you said, you gotta have that onion.
It's something. I mean, it's not many soups I've seen that do not have kind of some onion, shallots, whatever. There is some onions in it.
Yeah, it is.
Tomato soups. A lot of onions in tomato soups.
God, I love it. I love tomato soups. Oh man, I love tomatoes.
You yeah, I mean, you and my daughter, you would fit right together. She loved tomato soup. Yeah.
Yeah, no, tomato, basil, oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Little
tomatoes
cream,
are-
maybe wine. I don't, yeah, there's so much you can do with it.
There's so many different varieties of tomatoes too. You have the cherry tomatoes, you have the beef tomatoes, you have the plum tomatoes, and they are all a little bit different in flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, yeah.
I can't say that I have a refined enough palate. Comes to like, oop, there we go. Was I frozen for you?
Yeah, you said something, you didn't have that the palate or something like that.
Yeah, I don't quite have the palate to tell the difference in flavor between all the different tomatoes.
Oh, I bet you could if you had them lined up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I got into tomatoes in a really big way like 5 years ago, like really like 0 to 60. And yeah, there was a time like a couple years ago where I was insatiable for tomatoes.
You know,
Like,
every man should eat 1 tomato and 1 egg a day.
really?
Yeah, I mean, eggs have everything you need, and tomato is good for the prostate. Yeah, so a man should eat tomatoes and eggs every day.
Well,
that's some information for you guys.
You know, you really run the gamut here.
Yeah. Have you tried growing your own tomatoes?
We've tried a couple times. We've been moderately successful at it. We've never really had a lot of luck growing the big tomatoes, just because of pests and stuff like that often get to them. I think we've had a few that way. We have had pretty good luck a couple times doing like cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, those are quite easy to grow, I think. Yeah,
very much so. It's actually one of the things I'd like to do maybe next summer here is get a big pot and out on our deck or out front plant some cherry tomatoes, because
yeah,
those are the ones I eat a lot of cherry tomatoes. That's kind of my favorite little snack. You know, one of my favorite late night snacks is just like cherry tomatoes and maybe some like Kalamata olives and some balsamic vinegar, and
you love food.
I freaking love food, and that is why I am the size I am. That's why the camera doesn't go any lower than this. But yes, no, yeah. that is one of my favorite things in life, and I'm sorry that the cat is over there playing with something and making noise.
Yeah, we don't care so much about the noise from our mascot.
Yes.
Yeah. About growing stuff at home, like vegetables.
Yeah.
My wife and daughter are growing different things this year. We have this salad. I tried to do a translation of it, but we call it heart salad. It's called a heart salad. The only thing I could find was coleslaw, but that's more like a dish. And those are delicious, being quite big, like proper salads. And we have like carrots starting to grow quite well, and onions. She is also having some 2 different kinds of cucumber, actually. One like this longer version, this what is it called, the normal cucumber, cucumber,
English cucumber, I don't know.
I have no idea. We call it for snake cucumber, I mean, because it's the longer version. And then she tries something like round cucumbers, yellow round ones. I have no idea. And there's thyme and tomatoes. They try a lot of different stuff.
Nice.
And it tastes often so much better than even the organic one you buy at the store. It tastes much better when you're having it at home by some reason. I mean, maybe because you do not have like thousands of the same plant. You have just like these few.
Yeah. Well, and I know a lot of the times, like, especially for things like tomatoes, you know, they're often bred to be, you know, sort of hardier so that they don't damage during transport.
Yeah.
But they don't maybe taste as good as the result. Whereas if you grow your own, you know, you can get the, you know, ones that are more fragile but tastier, you know.
Yeah.
More tender and tasty and
Truth. Yeah. We are getting closer to our mark.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'd noticed that as well.
Yeah. I mean,
So
time flies by when you're having fun.
Yeah. Food is one of those things that I could talk about for hours. I like food. I like talking about it. I like eating it.
We should do a podcast where we cook. We
Yeah, I mean,
do
you've got some cool videos I know on your channel where you've got the like the POV kind of cooking.
Yeah, I have a couple cooking videos. I do. Yeah, out in the nature and at home in the kitchen.
That's one thing I'd like to try sometime because I think that sounds kind of fun to try and film that and.
Yeah, it's quite hard because you have to like the camera and you have to like see what to do, but the cameras also have to see what to do and.
Oh yeah.
And having a place to put the camera, and yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the big issues. I don't know where I'd put the camera on this in my kitchen here, but
I have this headband where you can attach the camera.
Sure.
I haven't used that one, but that could be one. There's so many different things you can do now. Yeah. But I guess we're about to wrap this episode about food.
Yes.
Up. Once again, I mean, we talked about. I don't know if we copied anything we've talked about before, but I guess not.
We'll assume we didn't.
Yeah, we assume we didn't, and we want you guys to hit that like button, subscribe, and smash notification bell, something like that, and write to us if it's something you want us to talk about, and if you want us to do something, we will try to make that happen too.
Yeah.
If you want to see something fancy.
Or even better, if you want to chat with us, why not?
Yeah, sure. We love to have guests. We had the amazing Adventure Closet last time.
Yes,
Not last time, but a couple of times ago. It was amazing.
We're still riding the high from that one. So
yeah, definitely riding the highs. So yeah, until next time, guys.
Yeah, see you later.
See you later.